From the BSNBCS studios, this is your morning news with Taylor Thomas and Fatima Karuma.
Good morning, BSNBCS. We're in the first week of April, and our show today is all about gun violence. We'll be asking, what is gun violence? What are some underlying issues of gun violence, and how do we stop gun violence? Today is Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Welcome to the show. My name is Taylor Thomas.
And I'm Fatima Karuma. Good morning, everyone. For decades, our leaders have failed to protect children, not guns, and a growing number of children are paying with their life. Look at all the mass shootings we have in our country that involve children under the age of 17. Gun violence is a violence committed with the use of a firearm.
That's right, Fatima. Our BSNBCS is committed to highlight the impact that gun violence has on our communities.
Well, Taylor, why do you think gun violence is such a big deal in our communities? I'm no way an expert on all the issues. However, one thing I see is a lack of resources in our communities. There's a direct connection to impoverished communities and crime. Let's jump right into the news.
In national news, a 28-year-old from Nashville fatally shot 3 children and 3 adults last week at a private Christian elementary school. The shooter, who police later identified as Audrey E. Hale, entered the building by shooting through the side door, armed with 2 assault-style weapons and a handgun. She then went to the second floor firing shots before being neutralized by the police.
When looking into some of the numbers behind firearms in the U.S., we found that the data shows nearly 53 people are killed each day by a firearm in the U.S. That's a significantly larger proportion of homicides than is the case in Canada, Australia, England, Wales, and many other countries.
Which brings us to the question, why doesn't the American government do something about gun violence? The answer? Money. This is possibly because politicians are paid by lobbyists to support their agenda, which means big businesses and organizations can pay lawmakers to focus on their issues and not the issues of mass population, like mass school shootings. Let's take a deeper look at gun violence. We know crime exists everywhere in the United States, in rural and urban areas, in the East and West, and among all types of people. However, urban crime is often perceived as a problem in areas with high poverty levels. This may be the case. However, many other factors such as unemployment, population density, minority population, age distribution, and locality in the U.S. are correlated with crime and affect poverty as well. When these factors are controlled for how much does poverty really affect crime? Instead of focusing on gun violence on its face, we should focus on the root causes of crime in low-income communities. Studies show the communities with high education levels significantly have lower crime, unemployment, and homelessness.
The underlying issues of poverty and unemployment seems like they can be fixed. They say we're the richest country in the world, so why would it be hard to make sure people can work and build their community?
I know, right? It seems like something is wrong with how communities receive resources.
Hi, I'm Abdul Isaka with Sports. The Colorado's Glendale Police Department say they launched an investigation into 23-year-old Moran after he was seen in an Instagram live video appearing to hold up a handgun with his left hand. The inquiry is to look into whether Memphis Grizzlies star John Morant broke any of the state gun laws when he appeared to show off a gun on social media while out with friends. On Saturday, Morant apologized for his behavior in a statement obtained by ESPN. I take full responsibility for my actions last night, Morant said. I'm sorry to my family, my teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. This is problematic for the Star because the NBA has a player policy that states players are prohibited from possessing a firearm of any kind in numerous settings, including whenever a player is traveling on any NBA related business, whether on behalf of the player's team, the NBA, or any league related entity. That's your sports news. I'm Abdul Isaka.
Hi, this is Maya Garcia from 3B with your Make a Word Winner segment update. Thank you to everyone who participated. Last week, we had tons of strong responses, but the winners with the most words are 5C found 60 words, 1B found 52 words, 6A found 48 words, 6C found 33 words, 5B found 14 words, 2C found 10 words. Now, let's take a look at our new challenge. How many words? Are you ready? Have your teacher send your answers to Miss V. Jones. The classes with the most correctly spelled words will win the prize. That's your word challenge of the week. Back to you, Newsroom.
Thank you, Maya, and congrats to the classes who participated and answered correctly.
Joining us now is our SGA to tell us about upcoming school events.
Good morning, BSNBCS. I'm Dakota, your SGA Sergeant at Arms. And I'm Cindy, your SGA Secretary, and these are your school updates. Who's ready for spring break? I am. Spring break will begin April 6th to April 16th. That is wonderful. What a great way to relax with a bit of self-care before the state ELA exam. Self-care is definitely important. Do you know what else is important? Brain camp. How can I forget about brain camp? Yes, Brain Camp is from April 10th to the 14th. This is the perfect time for you to get in that last bit of extra practice before the state exam. You're right, Dakota. You can never be too prepared. Absolutely. Do you know what else is important? I do. That participatory budget. Yes, you are correct. Last week, we all voted for our school to get a part of the discretionary funds that are allocated for our district. Hopefully, our school got enough votes so we can build our media lab and begin making that gun violence documentary. Speaking of gun violence, 398 children have died so far this year. Wow, that's over half of these students in this building. We really need to stop this now. Right now. Thank you to everyone who voted for us, and we will keep you posted. Back to you, Newsroom.
Our 82 newscast participated in a gun violence rally a few weeks ago. Let's tune in with our In the Field segment.
The BSNBCS school community is serious about getting involved with stopping gun violence.
We, the students of BSNBCS, are alarmed at the fact that we are not protected by government to stop gun violence.
Did you know last year the U.S. counted 647 mass shootings? Of those, 21 involved 5 or more fatalities.
Which brings us to the question of what it will take to end the madness of mass shootings in schools and communities at large.
When you look back into how people are raised in terms of the situations that they've been raised in, I think that definitely puts several people in an environment where they're more likely to either get shot or pick up a gun and participate in gun violence, right? And that's when we have to look at, the lack of investment in public housing, right? The lack of investment in mental health care for people to access health care, right? A lot of people or young people that sometimes, are picking up a gun or being an opportunity to pick up a gun, maybe their parents aren't in the house often, right? We got to think about how stressful the economy is on working class families where, parents can't be with their kids as much as they'd like to be. So there's an array of different issues that contribute to gun violence, right? Whether it's the economy, whether it's the lack of investment in mental health care, as well as the lack of investment in our housing system.
I think paying a lot of attention to our students in school, after school programs as well are very important. You see, when I was growing up, there was a lot of after school programs, so students didn't get involved in so much violence because it was a place for them to go after school. So I really think after school programs are important in addition to maybe community centers as well.
So I think the reason why there's such a slow movement is who represents who in Congress, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people that represent us both in the House and the Senate are people that don't look like you and I, right? Are people that don't look like folks that live in the communities of Bed-Stuy, North Crown Heights, or even people that live in communities where gun violence is a thing. A lot of that comes from people having money to run for campaigns, people having ability and time, and unfortunately a lot of that is through people with a lot of immense privilege, right? And also folks who believe that because they're not seeing it every single day in their lives, it's not a top priority for them, or is an issue that they feel that it's not theirs to solve. So I think one thing that we can do is getting folks like yourself to run for office. We love more representation, folks from the community who care about the work and ending things like gun violence and increasing public safety. And that's really where we bring meaningful change.
Gun violence has impacted the United States in unimaginable ways, making us all feel unsafe in the places where it's once believed to be the most safe.
Like schools and churches. In fact, school shootings have been on the rise post-COVID.
To date, America has experienced 71 mass shootings in the last 6 weeks. I'm Emily Soto.
I'm Camila Melendez.
DeMarcus Pesea. Abraham Sanfo.
Signing off. Back to you, newsroom.
Now we have Emily with our Spanish recap.
Buenos días, estudiantes. Yo soy Emily Soto de 7B y comencemos con las noticias. En noticias nacionales, un joven de 28 años de Nashville disparó fatalmente a 3 niños y 3 adultos la semana pasada en una escuela primaria privada. El tirador, a quien la policía identificó más tarde como Audrey E. Hall, ingresó al edificio, disparando a través de la puerta lateral, armado con 2 armas estilo asalto y una pistola. Luego fue al segundo piso, disparó antes de ser neutralizado por la policía. Lo que nos lleva a la pregunta, ¿por qué el gobierno estadounidense no hace algo con respecto a la violencia armada? La respuesta, dinero. Esto es posible porque los cabilderos pagan a políticos para que apoyen su agenda, lo que significa que las grandes empresas y organizaciones pueden pagar a los legisladores para que se centren en problemas y no en los problemas de la población en masa, como tiroteos masivos en escuelas. I'm Emily Soto from 7B, and this has been your Spanish recap. Back to you, newsroom.
Thank you, Emily, for that report.
Affirmations are a great way to encourage yourself when you're not feeling your best. Let's end our broadcast as we do every time. Affirmation time!
I am powerful. I am powerful. I'm important. I'm important. I'm determined. I'm determined. I'm resilient. I'm resilient. I am powerful. I am powerful. I'm important. I'm important. I'm determined. I'm determined. I'm resilient. I'm resilient. Now say it by yourself. I am powerful. I'm important. I'm determined. I'm resilient. Your life has a meaning. You're born for a reason. You were birthed for a purpose. And it will be your go-to. Find it. Because one day in this world, you will use your footprint to leave in. Imprint. And you will use your footprint to leave in. Imprint. Now turn to your partner and say, I believe in you. Do you believe in yourself? Turn to someone else and say, I believe in you. Do you believe in yourself? Now point to the most important person in this room and say, I believe in me. I believe in myself. Say it like you mean it. I believe in me. I believe in myself. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Period.
Thanks for that affirmation. Remember, you can use this affirmation to encourage yourself whenever you need it. As always, we'll be reciting this affirmation every broadcast. Well, that's our show. And remember, we can all do something to prevent gun violence in our communities. I'm Taylor Thomas.
And I'm Fatima Karuma, bringing you the latest news around the globe. Thank you for being with us, and
See you next time.